1,867 repositories say your CLAUDE.md triples in size, and nobody ever deletes a line. Day 1, your CLAUDE.md is 5 lines. Use pnpm, never npm. Don't touch the generated folder. Run the tests before you call a task done. And it works. The agent reads this file before it reads any of your code. So those 5 lines pay for themselves on every prompt you ever send. This is the best your instructions file will ever be. 18 months later, same file. 29 rules, 6 sections. Some of them you wrote, most of them you didn't. There's a rule in there about a bug from last September that nobody on the team can explain, and not one person has ever deleted a single line from this file. So here is what the research actually found and what to do about it. Someone actually measured this. A paper by Kushal Chakrabarti tracked 1,867 repositories and nearly 250,000 instruction lifetimes. Instruction files grow 226% over a project's life. That is more than triple, at about 5 net new instructions per commit. And the older an instruction gets, the less likely anyone is to remove it. Let's look at why it only moves in one direction. Adding a rule cost you 1 line in 30 seconds. There, done. Deleting one cost you a verification. You have to prove the thing this rule was protecting you from is not going to come back. And if nobody wrote down what that thing was, you cannot run that proof. So you leave it. Multiply that across 29 rules and you get a file where every line is individually defensible and the whole file is indefensible. Meanwhile, all of it loads into context before the agent reads a single line of your actual code. You are paying for this file on every prompt, and the line you pay most for is the line nobody understands. It gets worse. 2 rules written 8 months apart start contradicting each other, and nothing in a markdown file tells the model which one wins. So sometimes it picks the one you would have picked. Sometimes it picks the one from the incident that got rolled back in March. The paper has a name for this, and it's a good one. Catastrophic remembering. The opposite of catastrophic forgetting. Your file remembers everything, including all the things that stopped being true a year ago. This is what it looks like up close. A rule with no owner, no date, and no reason. Added to fix an issue we saw earlier. Which issue? Fixed how? Is it still broken? Nobody can answer that, so nobody can delete it, so it stays in your context window forever. So what actually fixes this? Not a shorter file, a deletable one. Every rule gets 3 things written next to it: the failure it came from, why the rule prevents it, and what success look like afterwards. Let's look at the difference that makes incident 4/12 September. The payout job wrote to payouts, timed out before ledger entries, and left 1,300 orphan rows that took 2 days to reconcile. One transaction means both commit or neither. Held, no orphan rows in 11 months. Now the next engineer doesn't need archaeology. They read it, they check whether it still applies, and if the payout job was rewritten last month, they delete the rule in 10 seconds without asking anyone's permission. Nobody has to defend it from memory anymore. The file defends it, or the file convicts it. And this is the part that surprised me. In the paper's benchmark, writing the rationale as a comment removed 99.3% of the excess instructions. Growth fell from 211% to 1.4%. On real-world instruction following, it scored up to 23% better. Same rules, just written so they can die. Which leaves the real question: what earns a place in the file at all? Only what is true everywhere in the repo, all of the time. The package manager. The one command that runs the tests. The thing that takes production down if the agent gets it wrong. That's it. If a rule applies to one folder, it belongs to that folder. If it's a sequence of steps, it's a procedure, not a rule. If it's something that must never happen, a sentence in a markdown file is the weakest way to enforce it. Everything on this list has a better home, and moving it there costs you nothing except the habit of putting everything in one place. Try it on your own file right now. Read it top to bottom and put every line in one of 4 buckets. True everywhere, true in one folder, a procedure, or a hard rule. Whatever is left in the first bucket is your real CLAUDE.md, and it is almost always a fifth of what you started with. Start with the easy one. A rule that only applies to payments goes into a CLAUDE.md inside the payments folder. Claude Code loads it whenever it opens a file in there and ignores it the rest of the time. Same rule, a fraction of the context, and it gets deleted the day that folder does. Next, a procedure isn't a rule. 5 steps for a safe production migration is a skill. It loads when you ask for it and costs you nothing when you don't. That's the whole trade. Rules are always in context. Skills are on demand. Most of what's bloating your file right now is a procedure wearing a rule's clothes. And the rules that genuinely matter shouldn't be rules at all. If it must never happen, make it a hook. The hook runs the check itself and blocks the commit. No model memory involved, no context spent, and nothing to quietly forget 40 messages into a long conversation. One more thing, because writing the reason down only works if somebody reads it back. Put a recurring calendar item on the file. Once a quarter, open it, and for every rule ask one question. Is the outcome line still true? If the payout job was rewritten, the rule goes. If the incident can't happen anymore, the rule goes. 10 minutes 4 times a year, and the file stops growing on its own. So here's the one habit worth building. Every time you add a rule, write the failure it came from next to it. That single line is what lets the next person delete it. And a file you can delete from is the only kind that stays short. Subscribe for more.